Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to finalize our output, write it in a text file, and then also plot the graph. Okay. So let's start. So as in the previous approach, we created a distance bearing list. Distance bearing list where we will add all of our final output. And then we are going to loop through all of the points in our points list. Points list. Oh, point list. So I keep forgetting this. So point list. Okay. And then let's create a current index just in case we need our current index. So point list dot index. So and then point. And then let's create the previous point. So this will be the object of the previous point. No? Previous point is equal to point underscore list. And then this will be the current index because we already calculated the current index. Just subtract 1 from that. So that will be our previous point. Take note that is a previous point object. That is not the index. That is the previous point object. Okay, so now, so if our current index is equal to 0, then what we do? We continue, right? Because we still have 1 point at that particular loop iteration. And then else let's get the distance and bearing. So for the distance, we're going to use our previous point because in our design of our class, no, or in our output, as in the previous approach also, we start with the starting point will be our the point that you're going to use, and the argument will be the endpoint. Okay, so let's use the previous point. Previous point dot get distance, and then the argument will be the next point, and the next point in this case will be the current point because we're using the previous one and then the current point. Okay, and then for the bearing, we're going to do the same thing. So previous point dot get bearing. Oy, bearan sa many. Get bearing and then point. And then for the line, so this will be for corner 1 to another corner. So let's use the point number. So previous dot point number. Previous point dot point number. And then plus, we need to add a dash there. And then we add the current point number. That point number. So we no longer need to cast them to string because they're already strings, right? Why do I have this plus 1? This is wrong, okay? So just point number. Okay? And then the distance bearing, we're going to append this now. So distance bearing dot append. So we have our line and then plus comma and then plus our distance. We need to cast this to a string because this is a float, and then another plus, then comma, and then the str for our bearing, and then plus backslash n. Okay, so I don't think we need to still cast the bearing because let's see in our point class. In our point get bearing class, this is already in string format, no? So let's try. So we no longer need to cast this bearing. We'll see later if we still get the same result. And then the next one is if current index. Again, this will be for the last point, right? So of point list -1. So what do we do? So let's copy. So I'm going to copy the. Let's just type it out, no? Kay medyo lahi siya. So distance is equal to point. So from the current point, no? The current point, the last point to the first point. So that get distance, and then point underscore list, and then 0. Okay, so that will be our first point object. Then the b-ring will be point dot get b-ring. And then again, point list 0. For the line, same thing, no? Point number, and then plus another dash there, and then we have point list 0 dot the point number. Okay, and then just copy the b-ring, no? Distance b-ring append. Okay, so that's basically it, no? So now let's try. Let's confirm if we got the correct answers. Okay. So distance b-ring for element in distance b-ring. And distance b-ring print element. Okay, so let's try. See what we get. Okay, so there you have it, guys. So we got it. We got it correctly, no? So 1 to 2, these are distance, and then these are the points. These are the bearings. So that's basically it, no? And then the last job that we need to do is we need to we need to write into a text file, and then we also need to plot it to a graph. Okay, let's try this. So with open, so let's just copy from the top, no? Para di na tayo madugay. So with open, this one. And then let's just write out here, what do you want? Let's say output na lang. Output, let's just say a distance bearing na lang. Distance bearing dot text, txt, and then this output. Okay. And then, let's see. For line in distance bearing, output dot write. So this is basically the same as in the previous approach line. Okay, so we are going to write that to a file. And now let's go to plotting using matplotlib. Plotting using the library matplotlib. So how do we do that? So in using a library, now you have to be familiar with how to use the library. So let's use the function. Let's use the function plt plot. Because where did this plt come from? This came from here. So we are importing this pyplot, no? Pyplot class, no, and we are using it as plt. And then plt dot plot, and then we have eastings and our northings. So this is the, if you recall, so this is the list that we populated earlier. And then the plt dot ylabel. So that is also built into the plt, no? The plt object, no? So let's just type in northings. Northings here, northings, and then plt.xlabel. So type in eastings, and then we're going to type in plt.show. Okay, so fingers crossed. Let's try if we did this correctly now. So let's print. Let's run. Could be some error here. Okay, so we have an error. Let's try to fix it. We have file not found error. So why is this? Distance bearing dot text. Oh, so we have here because we need to write this as W, not R. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, so there we have it. This is our very awesome graph, and we did it successfully. Okay, so let's also try to see if we have our file created. Okay, so OOP. So you have it right here, distance bearing that text. So there you have it, guys. So that's it for this tutorial series, no? So I hope you've gained understanding of how classes work and how to use the functions in instantiated objects of that class. And then if you have questions, you can ask me directly through email or messenger. And then please apply this to your project. If you have a certain part of your project that you can code, you can automate using code of this nature, no, that we just created, then please do so. And yeah, so that's basically it. So again, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And yeah, thank you for watching this series. I hope you learned something. Thanks.